Throughout history, innovation has been hailed as the driving force of progress, propelling humanity forward into new frontiers of technology and possibility. However, beneath the gleaming surface of scientific advancement lies a darker reality, one where powerful industries have systematically suppressed groundbreaking ideas that threaten their dominance. Today, we delve into the shadowy world of corporate manipulation, exploring how big oil has consistently crushed alternative energy innovations to maintain its iron grip on the global energy market. Our story begins in the early 20th century when the internal combustion engine emerged as the dominant technology for powering vehicles. While this innovation revolutionized transportation, it also cemented the oil industry's position as the primary supplier of fuel. As the decades passed, big oil's influence grew exponentially, shaping not only the energy landscape but also global politics and economics. However, as concerns about environmental degradation and climate change began to mount, scientists and inventors started exploring alternative energy sources. These innovations promised cleaner, more sustainable ways to power our world. But for big oil, these developments represented an existential threat to their trillion-dollar empire. One of the most notorious examples of big oil's intervention occurred in the 1990s with the development of the electric car. General Motors had created the EV1, a fully electric vehicle that showed immense promise. It was efficient, environmentally friendly, and beloved by its users. Yet, mysteriously, GM decided to recall and destroy every single EV1, crushing them in the desert. Many suspect that pressure from oil companies played a significant role in this decision, effectively killing the electric car before it could gain widespread adoption. But the suppression of alternative energy innovations didn't stop there. Throughout the years, big oil has employed a variety of tactics to maintain its dominance. One common strategy has been to buy up patents for promising alternative energy technologies, only to shelve them indefinitely. This approach ensures that potentially disruptive innovations never see the light of day, preserving the status quo that benefits the oil industry. Another tactic involves wielding political influence to shape energy policies and regulations. By lobbying governments and funding think tanks, big oil has managed to secure billions in subsidies while simultaneously working to undermine support for renewable energy initiatives. This has created an uneven playing field, making it difficult for alternative energy sources to compete on a cost basis. The oil industry has also invested heavily in disinformation campaigns, sowing doubt about the viability and safety of alternative energy technologies. By funding studies that downplay the environmental impacts of fossil fuels and exaggerate the challenges of renewable energy, they've managed to shape public perception and delay meaningful action on climate change. Perhaps most insidiously, big oil has engaged in corporate espionage and intimidation tactics against inventors and companies working on alternative energy solutions. There have been numerous reports of breakthrough technologies mysteriously disappearing, inventors facing legal threats, and small companies being bought out and dismantled before they can bring their innovations to market. One particularly chilling example involves the story of Stan Meyer, who claimed to have invented a car that could run on water. Meyer's device allegedly split water into hydrogen and oxygen, which could then be used as fuel. However, before he could fully develop and commercialize his invention, Meyer died suddenly under mysterious circumstances. While officially ruled a brain aneurysm, many of his supporters believe he was poisoned to prevent his technology from threatening the oil industry. The consequences of this systemic suppression of alternative energy innovations have been profound. Decades of potential progress have been lost, leaving us more dependent on fossil fuels and exacerbating the climate crisis. The true cost of big oil's actions extends far beyond mere financial considerations. It has impacted global health, environmental stability, and the very future of our planet. As we conclude our exploration of this dark side of innovation, it's important to recognize that the tide is slowly turning. Despite the oil industry's best efforts, renewable energy technologies are gaining ground, driven by increasing public awareness and the undeniable realities of climate change. However, the legacy of big oil's suppression continues to cast a long shadow over our energy future. The story of how big oil crushed alternative energy serves as a stark reminder of the power of entrenched interests to shape our world. It underscores the need for vigilance, transparency, and support for independent research and innovation. Only by shining a light on these shadowy practices can we hope to create a future where truly transformative technologies are allowed to flourish, free from the constraints of corporate greed and manipulation.